Welcome to this presentation that has been designed to show you how to access a range of land documents and support materials on the City and Guilds website. My name is John Ray and I'm one of two technical advisors for land, the other being B. Esdale. For simplicity, I've had one technical qualification as my focus so that hopefully that helps you navigate your way through the site. This tracking relates to any City and Guilds land qualification, but be aware not all qualification requirements are the same. Please click to move on to the next slide. In order to navigate the website easily, it is preferable to know the qualification number. For land technical qualifications, these range from 0170, which is Key Stage 4 land-based studies, 0171 to 0175, which are all Key Stage 5. Within each of the main qualification numbers are the individual qualifications. For example, Level 2 Technical Certificate in Animal Care is 012-21 and Level 2 Technical Certificate Equine Care is 0172-26. Level 3 0172 starts at 30, that is 0172-30. Other qualifications in the series follow a similar sequence with each programme, whether 360, 540, 720 or 1080 guided learning hours. Each have a unique and distinct qualification number following the 017 prefix. So, if we go back to basics, this slide shows how to find a City and Guilds qualification online. We need to search for City and Guilds on the search engine, and then under the main City and Guilds heading, you will see the tab Courses and Qualifications. If we click on this, it will open and show. Having clicked on the tab, this is what will be shown. If you know the qualification number, e.g. 0172 for animal management, you can enter it in the search box and click search. If however you don't know the qualification number, you can scroll down this page to find the sector the qualification sits in. In our case, this is the Land-Based Services tab. If we use the search function and click the return key, this is what we can see. As you can see, both level 2 and 3 tabs are available for 0172. This gives us access to both animal management and equine management qualifications. Be aware, however, that searching 0172 will only show technical qualifications from animal or equine. It will not give you access to any QCF qualifications or work-based qualifications. For those, you would need to search by their unique qualification codes. If we hadn't used the search function and had scrolled down the page, we come down to land-based services. These sectors are all listed alphabetically. In red, you will see View all 57 qualifications. As new qualifications are developed and uploaded, and all qualifications are removed from the landing page, this number may vary. Click on the red tab to open the range of land qualifications. Once this is open, all the land sectors are listed here again alphabetically. As indicated on the slide, Agriculture Technical's landing page also contains land-based engineering under the 0171. Equine resides with animal management under 0172. Forest and arboriculture sit under the horticulture landing page under 0174. And if we were to click on the drop down tab, we see the following. If we click on the animal management tab, we can find all the other qualifications that City and Guilds offer. For example, the Animal Management and Care, which is 0074. We can also find any short courses, any work-based provision, and also the technical qualifications. If we click onto the red title, in this case the Technicals in Animal Care Management and Equine Care Management, this opens up the qualification as per the next slide. Please click to move on to the next slide. If we need to look at a specific qualification, this is what you will see once the 0172 qualification is opened. Here you will see two tabs, Information and Documents. On this page is a brief summary about each level, and in the case of 0172, differentiates between the animal and equine pathways. Clicking directly onto the Information tab turns it a darker grey. So, still on the Information tab, these two screen snips show the information that is in the area of the landing page. If we click open the drop-down menu on the Level 3 tab, this shows all 8 animal and equine Level 3 technical qualifications, and there are 4 of each. There is a 360, there's a 540, there's a 720, and there's a 1080-hour program for each of animal and equine. If we open the Animal 540, prefixed 0172-31, this gives us a range of information. Not least, it gives us whether the qualification is live and when the last date for registration is. There is also a range of other information here, including total qualification time, which is TQT, and the accreditation number. On the 540, it gives us also the UCAS points. If we come out of the Information tab and then click on the Documents tab so that it becomes a darker grey, this reveals 5 drop-down menus. All the key information for delivering and assessing these qualifications are under the 0172 Level 2 and the 0172 Level 3 tabs. As discussed on the slide, there is some more information under the other 3 tabs which relate to the qualification of which you should be aware. Clicking on the Level 3 tab opens up Animal Management and Equine Management tabs. Clicking on Animal Management opens up to reveal Assessment Materials and Center Document tabs. If we click on the Center Document drop-down menu, it shows a list of all the Level 3 Animal Management Technical Qualification Handbooks, or QHB, and their version. Directly underneath this is the qualification report from the previous year specific to that qualification route. Neither of these documents are password protected. Be aware you should only use the latest online versions of the Qualification Handbook. And the Qualification Handbook has all the information that centres, managers and tutors require to successfully deliver that programme of study. The Qualification Report combines the Principal Moderator and Chief Examiner reports of the previous year's learner performance on that specific qualification, and both are essential reading. With the handbooks, it is essential to identify the chosen route and use the correct handbook. Please don't assume that the 360-hour qualification has the same exam specification as the 540-hour route. There is lots of information in the handbooks. As stated on the slide, there is generic information relating to the delivery and assessment of technicals, but the majority of all the information is specific to that programme of study, which is why it is essential to use the correct handbook for the qualification that your learners are studying. If we take a closer look at the assessment requirements of the qualification, which is 0172-33, this details what the component number is that candidates will be assessed against. It is important to note that these are unique to individual qualifications. Because Synoptic Assessments 1 and the Exam 1 assess specific unit content, that has a significant influence over when and in what combination units might be delivered as part of a 2-year qualification. It is probably not appropriate to teach a unit in year 1 knowing it is part of either the Synoptic and or theory exam in year 2. Each pathway is unique, although there may be common components. Within the first 40 pages or so, the pages are descriptions and summaries of requirements, including employer involvement, assessment summary of methods and conditions, synoptics, what they are, assessment objectives, exam specification, moderation, grading and administration. If we now click on the 0173-33 qualification report, the next slide shows what appears. Qualification reports are specific to a single qualification. In here, the Principal Moderator and Chief Examiner have stated the grade boundaries that were arrived at following the review of marking and moderation. For each route through particular qualifications, in this case there are 4 routes through the Animal Management, Level 3 Advanced Technical Extended Diploma in Animal Management. Each has provided a commentary stating what learners did well and common pitfalls that learners have evidenced. Following moderation, each moderator provides feedback to the centre on what they have found. This national report gives an overview across the qualification. Still in the Centre Documents tab, here is the link that will take you to the generic work experience portfolio. This Word document can be adapted for any programme of study and it is not password protected. Also on this snip, you can see the link to the study programme fact sheet. This allows centres to identify appropriate certificates of competence and licence to practice qualification Relevant to the main programme of study, these qualifications are key to improving learner employability. Please click to move on to the next slide. If we now click back onto the Documents page for 0172, click onto Animal Management and then go on to Assessment Materials, in here you will see that all exams have their own specific exam number and associated guide. This is shown in the Qualification Handbook as identified earlier in this presentation. When the exam guide is opened, it shows specifically which units are being assessed as part of the exam and also the content assessed by the exam. In here, there's the unit, there's the learning outcome, the topic area and the marks available. The exam guide also gives examples of the different types of questions. For level 3, they are usually short answer with an extended question. For level 2, they are usually multi-choice questions or MCQ. Also in the exam guide are descriptors that link to the command verbs used. This is sometimes where learners struggle in not understanding what they have been asked to do. The exam guide is a critical document that all tutors should read prior to learners sitting the exam. City and Guilds have produced sample papers and past papers are uploaded onto the website to help centres and tutors help learners with exam techniques. These can be used by tutors to set mock tests or however they wish to use them. They are not password protected. Also on this tab, which are password protected, are links to the biological systems. This is specific to the level 3 0172 Animal and Equine suite of qualifications and the Health and Safety Theory exam packs, and all land qualifications undertake this generic exam. And as stated on the slide, there are multiple versions for centres to use. There is no limit to the number of times learners can resit to pass, but they must pass both of these qualifications in order to pass the main qualification. This slide also shows the current Synoptic assessment under the drop-down tab, and for any optional units taken, their assessments. And for level 3, there are 2 versions, either an A or a B route. Centres can choose which version to use. And both Synoptic and optional assessments are password protected. Now let's open the past papers tab. So, as already stated, past papers are not password protected, and you will see that both March and June series of exams are uploaded. They are visible and complete with mark schemes, qualification reports and chief examiner reports for all routes through the 0172 level 3 Advanced Technical Extended Diploma in Animal Management 1080, including Year 1 exams. As already said, these can be used for mock assessment in whatever manner centres choose to use them. In order to protect City and Guilds developed assessments and exams, the following are all password protected: the Biological Systems paper, Principles of Health and Safety Theory exam pack, examiner reports, Synoptic assignment packs, and unit assignments version A and B assessment forms and packs. Passwords are available on the City and Guilds walled garden for those centres with learners registered on the qualification. It is also worth noting that lecturers nor technical advisors have any access to the current theory exam content. Paper booked exams are dispatched in sealed envelopes to be opened by exam officers at the start of the exam. Exams are sat and invigilated under clearly defined guidelines, and all guidelines must be followed whichever exam or assignment is being undertaken by learners. This slide shows a snip from the exam guide giving an explanation of the command verbs that might be used in theory exams and also in synoptic assessments. Learners need to be aware of what they mean. Chief examiners and principal moderators have identified many lost marks due to learners being unfamiliar with the terminology used. If we now click into the synoptic as shown, the drop-down box reveals all the synoptic assessment which relate to qualification number 0172-33. We must ensure learners undertake the correct synoptic related to the route with which they are enrolled upon. As described, following consultation with tutors, additional tutor guidance was added to make it clearer to tutors what the requirements are. What wasn't changed at all was the synoptic tasks. Synoptics are released to centres via the website for land in early September, primarily to allow centres to plan resource usage and to aid timetabling. Just to recap, from the qualification handbook, the synoptic assignment for year 1 on the level 3 advanced technical extended diploma in animal management 1080 is 030. If we now log into 0172-33 030 synoptic assessment, we need to add the password that is available on walled garden. If you have learners registered on programme but you don't have the password, your exams officer should be able to help. And all tutors teaching on the programme should have the passwords available to allow access into the documentation. If you copy and paste the password onto another document to save going onto walled garden each time, ensure when you copy and paste into the password box, you do not add in any spaces either before or after the password, as the document will not open. Be aware also some passwords have a 0 and an O in them. Obviously, if typing in from a hard copy document, ensure you identify whether it's a number or a letter that is required. And there should only be the current synoptic assessment on the website. Old ones are taken down. So when you have opened the synoptic, it is a good idea to take some time to read all aspects within the document. And you must follow the guidance laid down. The brief states if any research can be carried out by learners, and if so, what they should research. In the tutor guidance, it usually states how much research a learner can use to assist in the write-up phase. If research is allowed, the learner is given the brief only 1 week prior to the first task being set. They then hand the research to the tutor prior to the write-up, who reads it for suitability and then hands it back to the learner at the start of the supervised write-up period. Be aware that a moderator can ask for any research material to be uploaded onto the moderation portal. The tutor guidance states or suggests in which order tasks should be undertaken, if any. The synoptic period. For land, it is recommended that they are completed within 4 weeks. This is a recommendation and it is not a rule. If centres need longer than 4 weeks, then they should take this extra time. For 2019, land synoptics could be given to learners from the 2nd of January with all the required evidence to be uploaded by the 17th of May. Shown on this slide is a snip from the marking grid for AO1. On each synoptic assessment, there is also the relevant forms, the Practical Observation Form, or PO, and the Candidate Record Form, the CRF, are within the document. They are writable PDFs available, and these are completed using the marking guides. Also within the synoptic assessment for guidance, each synoptic has its own specific marking guide. Under the Technicals and TechBack tab is a link to events and webinars, and in here there is specific guidance on how to complete synoptic documentation. In addition to the theory exam and the synoptic assessments, some qualifications may have optional units. Each of these has their own pre-written City and Guilds tasks. As previously stated, on level 3, there is a choice of A or B versions. Centres choose which is the most suitable for their centre and their candidates. They are password protected, and the marks and any evidence required needs to be uploaded onto the moderation portal by the 14th of June 2019. As stated above, supporting documents are available to upload. These are not password protected, which gives guidance on how to upload and the types of evidence required. All City and Guilds technical qualifications are assessed to 5 assessment objectives as listed on the slide. These are AO1, which recalls knowledge from across the breadth of the qualification. AO2, where the learner demonstrates understanding of concepts, theories and process. AO3, where the learner demonstrates technical skills from across the breadth of the qualification. AO4 applies knowledge, understanding and skills from across the breadth of the qualification in an integrated and holistic way. and AO5 demonstrates perseverance in achieving high standards and attention to detail, while showing an understanding of wider impact of their actions. And for each qualification and route, there are suggested examples of what might be appropriate. Again, for each, there are examples which suggest suitable evidence for a learner who may be at the bottom of the band, and what you might expect from a top of band learner. Again, there is much more guidance on the moderation support webinars and in presentations on the City and Guilds website, specifically linked to Synoptic assessment. Please click to move on to the next slide. So this slide shows other supporting documents specifically for land. And there are 3 new tabs on the Land-Based Services landing page. The NPTC Fund details bursaries and how learners might access them. Key Documents contains the All About Land newsletters, and these are primarily for employers, but might well be a source of information for centre staff. Also in there is the seasonality calendar, which gives some thought as to when key certificates of competence and licence to practice qualifications might be delivered. These link to enrichment additionality fact sheets for study programmes, and these are found under the Centre Document tab below the Qualification Handbook. These could be used to assist curriculum planning of study programmes. There is also a tab for the new apprenticeship endpoint assessment being developed for land-based standards. And maybe this presentation will find its way onto this link. So this slide evidences some of the supporting documents of a more general nature. So on the home page, if we click on Technicals and Tech Back, and then Resources and Support, this reveals a further series of drop-down boxes. City and Guilds have produced a wide range of generic support resources to assist centres with all aspects of delivery, assessment and moderation. Any email updates sent out to centres will also be placed here, as will any upcoming webinars, networks and other updates. As can be seen, each red box has a drop-down menu. Some documents will be changed annually, such as the exam timetable, the technicals checklist, to ensure currency. Clicking on Teaching and Learning Resources reveals the range of documents and guides available. As previously stated, the welcome pack, the checklist and exam timetable are all updated annually, giving key dates for effective timetabling. And no passwords are required to access any of the documents on this website. On the right hand side of the slide, you will see grey boxes adjacent to the red. If you click into Events and Webinars, this opens into upcoming events on Eventbrite, the platform we use for booking events. Underneath that tab, you will see the links to free webinars. In there are some excellent material, some program specific and some general link to the assessment and moderation process. Again, no passwords are required to access this information. Please click to move on to the next slide. If we open the tab Guide to Synoptic Assessment Webinars, this reveals 4 separate webinars, each about 15 minutes long, which describe the whole synoptic process from start to conclusion. Opening the next tab reveals specific qualification guidance, and as you can see, there are two land specific to animal management shown in the snip. For centres who are not doing animal management, these are well worth a look, however, as they describe the whole synoptic process through the eyes of the principal moderator and what they and their team would expect. Recently created for Level 3 qualifications is the Grade Predictor calculator. This is available on the Resources and Support tab, and if we click on the box, this opens up. By clicking in the relevant black boxes, and these are from 120 to the 1080 hours qualifications, this opens up a document to allow centres to add anticipated exam and synoptic scores. This will give a predicted final grade. If the specific qualification your learners are studying is listed separately, e.g. 0172-38, then use that tab, as these qualifications may be assessed slightly differently. Otherwise, you should use the generic program length tab. For a final year of a 2-year program, the actual first year grades can be entered and anticipated marks can be entered along with grade boundaries, and for that you should use the previous year's grade boundaries to give a predicted final grade. And on this page there is also a link to a UCAS points calculator. So on this slide you can see two snips of the grade predictor calculator, one which is blank and one which has been completed. So opening up the 1080 calculator shows the blank sheet. We can then complete the sheet using grade boundaries obtained from the previous year's qualification report. We must ensure that we use like for like qualifications. Also be aware that grade boundaries may well change during ratification of qualifications. And using real grades from year 1 and projected grades for year 2, we can see for this example that this learner, and it would be subject to moderation, would have achieved the grades as shown, which also include the UCAS points for any learners wishing to enter university. Thank you for watching and listening to this presentation. If you have any queries, comments, or need help with the delivery and assessment of the technical qualifications in land, please contact either B. Esdale or John Ray on the email addresses shown, who will be more than happy to help and assist you. Thank you.